Today we're going to talk about word problems involving proportions. Before we get started on actual word problems, we're going to go over a method on how to always get the right answer. We have something called a WAKU chart. A WAKU chart has W-K-U and it's pronounced WAKU. In the WAKU chart, we have W. W stands for the words. So in the word problem, what am I comparing? What are they giving to me that I am comparing? Then the K stands for no. What information did the word problem provide me that I know is there? The U stands for unknown. What am I trying to figure out? This is usually where your variable is going to go. What do I need to know? And don't forget your units. So our first problem says, Justin took a total of 10 quizzes over the course of 5 weeks. After attending 7 weeks of school this quarter, how many quizzes will Justin have taken in total? So the very first thing you need to draw or write is your WAKU chart. Now I need to go through and figure out what I need to place under each of the letters. So W stands for words. What am I comparing? So let's look through and figure out what am I comparing. So it says Justin took a total of 10 quizzes over the course of 5 weeks. So in my first sentence, I know that I'm comparing quizzes to weeks. So under W, I'm going to write quizzes over weeks. I need this so my ratio, or what I'm comparing, stays consistent throughout my problem. So now I need to know, what do I know? So in that first sentence, they give me two different numbers. They give me the 10 here for the quizzes, so I know it's 10 quizzes over 5 weeks. So 5. Now I need to make sure if I match it up, I have this right numbers. So here it says 10 quizzes, 10 quizzes. Here it says 5 weeks, 5 weeks. Now I go to my unknown. In the next sentence it says, after attending 7 weeks of school this quarter, how many quizzes will Justin have taken in total? My unknown, what am I trying to figure out? Here it says, how many quizzes will Justin have taken in total? So I'm trying to find out how many quizzes. So I look down here at my words. Where should I place quizzes? In the numerator. So now generally use X as your variable. So I place X there because it is the unknown. And now I see I need another piece of information there that they provided to me in my problem. And it says 7 weeks. So I place that underneath in the denominator. And now I can set up a proportion to solve and find out how many quizzes would Justin have taken in a total of 7 weeks. So now I set them equal to each other. And to solve a proportion, I have to cross multiply. So I do 10 times 7 equals 5 times x. 10 times 7 is 70 equals 5 times x is 5x. Now I still need to get x by itself to find out how many quizzes. So I divide both sides by 5 and x equals 14. So down here, Justin will have taken 14 quizzes. Please do not forget your units. Okay, next problem. Kaya prepared 6 kilograms of dough after working 2 hours. How much dough did Kaya prepare if she worked 4 hours? So again, we have our WAKU chart, and we go through, and the first one is W. W stands for the words. What am I comparing? So look at my first sentence. I see that Kaya prepared 6 kilograms of dough after working 2 hours. So kilograms, 2 hours. So now I have in words what I'm comparing. So I know I can keep straight what I'm placing in my K section and my U section. So now, what do I know? What information did they provide to me? So I go through and I see that it says 6 kilograms. So I place that under 6 in 2 hours. So 2 hours. Again, check to make sure you have them correct. 6 kilograms, 6 kilograms. 2 hours, 2 hours. Then I go through and see, what do I not know? It says here, how much dough did Kaya prepare if she worked 4 hours? So they gave me 4 hours, so that's given to me. So I look here, it says hours is in the denominator. So I put 4 there. And what I need to figure out is how many kilograms of dough. So that's my variable or my unknown, which is x. Now I set up my proportion, and that's 6 over 2 equals x over 4. Cross multiply. 6 times 4 is 24 equals 2 times x is 2x. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 12. But I'm not done there. I have to have my units. So it's 12 kilograms of dough. Okay, before we start this next problem, I want you to go ahead and try it yourself, and then we're going to go over how to do it. So it says Diego jarred 12 liters of jam after 2 days. How many days did Diego spend making jam if he jarred 18 liters of jam? The first thing we need to do is write our WAKU chart. So we have W stands for the words, K stands for what do I know or give me, and the U stands for unknown. So let's go through and fill out our WAKU chart. It says Diego jarred 12 liters of jam after 2 days. So what am I comparing? What did they tell me I'm doing? So 12 liters and 2 days. So I know I'm talking about liters and days. So what do I know? What numbers did they give me? 12 and 2. So I need to make sure that I put them in the correct places. So 12 liters goes in the numerator. So 12 over 2 days. 2 goes in the denominator. Now I need to figure out my U. It says how many days. If I'm asking how many days, that must be what I'm trying to figure out, or what's unknown. So that must be my variable. So days is in the numerator or denominator. Here it's in the denominator, so the variable must go in denominator. Did Diego spend making jam if he jarred 18 liters? So if I'm talking about 18 liters, that must go in the numerator, 8. Now I set up my proportion, and I have 12 over 2 equals 18 by x. Now to solve a proportion, remember we cross multiply. So I do 12 times x, which is 12x, equals 2 times 18, which is 36. Then I divide both sides by 12 to solve for x, so x equals 3. But do I stop here and say that's my answer, that 3 is my answer? No, I have to make sure I'm answering the question and have my units. So the 3 stands for what? We look here, this is our unknown, it stands for days. So I must write my units, which are days. Don't forget that. Last question, I want you to do the same thing and try it by yourself, and then we're going to go over it. Okay, it says Claudia took a total of 10 pages of notes during 2 hours of class. After attending 4 hours of class, how many total pages of notes will Claudia have in her notebook? Again, we start with our WAKU chart. Start with W, words, or what am I comparing? So let's look. In the first sentence, we have 10 pages to how many hours? 2 hours. So we're comparing pages to hours. So I put pages over hours. So then I need to know what information that they gave me. What do I know? We already said it was 10 pages to 2 hours. So again, remember, make sure they stay consistent. So it's 10 over 2. And now I need to know what's my unknown. It says after attending 4 hours of class, so they gave me 4 hours. I look here, Should I go in my numerator or denominator? It's talking about hours, so it must go in my denominator. So I put the 4 in my denominator. How many total pages of notes will Claudia have in her notebook? So it's asking me how many total pages. Pages is what they're asking me for, so that must be my unknown. So my variable goes in the numerator. So now I have 10 over 2 equals x over 4 for my proportion. To solve it, I must cross multiply. So 10 times 4 is 40 equals 2 times x is 2x. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 20. Don't forget, I need my units, so it's 20 pages.